Are we on?
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we the brothers from GMS New Orleans branch coming at you with another lesson. This the brother Kazakia.
But Khabar,
All right, and prior to getting started, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect. All right, and title of today's lesson is going to be Brace for Impact. All right. So we got a lot, moving within the world as far as the prophecies are concerned. A lot of wars getting ramped up. A lot of different countries going up against each other, man. A lot of trade wars, okay, so-called proxy wars, right? So you could kick me off with that.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Right, so that's what we coming up on, man. The time of Jacob's trouble, right? When all hell breaks loose, right? When Esau Edom comes through like a flood, okay? And he's coming up against you so-called Israelites, okay? The black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian man, woman, and child, all right? You the true princes and the princesses of the power, okay? All right, you got to come back to the Lord before this time, man, and it's vastly approaching, okay? You don't want to be the a calamity to the Lord, okay, as far as being in his destruction, okay?
But we know, amen, Joy, amen, the Israelites, man, they 2/3, they go get caught up in that judgment, man.
Right,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? That's what it's for.
Right, get that out of what's that, Zechariah 13?
Yeah, Zechariah 13.
Yeah, get that real quick. Right, man, because our people, man, they're not repenting, man. They're not seeking their power. They're not trying to turn back to their power, okay? Right, they're making deals basically with the devil, man. Right, they're making an agreement and a covenant with hell, right? And that's going to basically be their downfall, right?
Yeah.
They're putting their trust in their trust into man, making flesh their arm, right? You got to make the Lord your arm, man. Okay, make him your strength, make him your power. All right.
God. It's Zechariah 13, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Right. So the land is basically America, man. And the two parts that's going to be cut off and die, all right, are the Israelites. Okay, because the heathen nations, the Gentiles, they're already destroyed. Okay, if you're here when the nuclear missiles go off, you're not getting on a chariot, man. You're done for. But this is pertaining to you Israelites. All right. Go ahead.
The 2/3, man. It said, but the third shall be left therein.
Right, but the third, man, the remnant, right, the hopeful elect. These are the ones that we will return to seek their power, right, and come back to Yahweh Shema Shai in righteousness. Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones that could be saved out of it, man. Out of Jacob's trouble, man, that the Lord's about to bring.
Right, and that goes back to what the first precept we read.
Mm-hmm.
But he shall be saved out of it.
God.
The ending of it. Okay.
God.
You
want
yeah.
to read verse 9?
Yeah, we get it. We'll get more on that. Go ahead.
God. It said, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined.
Right. So the trials, the tribulations, the test, it starts now, man. What are you doing now in the spirit? Right? How are you growing? Okay. The Lord's gonna put plenty of stumbling blocks, obstacles, in your way. Right. So you had to, you basically gotta take note of those things, man. Look out for them. Be circumspect. So you don't fall. Okay.
Yeah.
Our fiery trial starts now. That's why the name of the title for today's lesson is Brace for Impact, man.
Yeah.
Because
I would say too, yeah. How is the Lord? How is the Lord embracing the elect for impact, man? Basically, man, he putting through man trials and tribulations, man. That's what that fire represents in
Right.
verse 9, man. That trial and tribulation, the chastening of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And basically, man, it's bracing them for impact to where, man, when a time of trouble come, they'll be prepared, man. Not only they'll be prepared, they'll be protected as well, man.
right.
They'll be delivered from that.
Right, because the hopeful elect, on this side they've taken plenty L's, man.
Mm-hmm.
As the world would like to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what did the world see them as losers? But we're gaining a spirit to be winners, man.
God.
We put up our treasure, right? You know, we laid up our treasures in heaven, man.
That's right.
You know, we gave our bodies as a living sacrifice to Yahweh Shem El Shai. You know.
God, it also said, and they shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power.
Right. So, you know, we're coming up on what? You know, the ways of the Lord, man. The things that represent the Lord. Okay, righteousness, right? And we literally call upon his name too, man,
Yeah.
which is Yahweh, you know, being basically the Most High God, okay, meaning he the be, he exists, and Yahweh Shai, meaning, man, he delivers, man, he saves, okay?
God. Cause that's the only way, man, we could be delivering these times, man, by having that name.
Right,
You know, as it said in Acts 4 and 12, man, there's no other name that we shall be saved.
right, exactly, man. You know, it ain't JC. I ain't even gonna say that name. It ain't Yeshaya, Yeshua. It ain't Yahweh. It's Yahweh Shai, man. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Those are the names you need. You don't have those names, you know, tough luck for you. You know. Okay.
What else you got, bro?
That Matthew 24.
This is Matthew's 24 verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right, man. And that's what we're seeing, man. Wars and rumors of wars, man. Right? They kicked it off with basically, you know, Russia and Ukraine. You know, and people was actually anticipating China and Taiwan before the Russia and Ukraine. Right? And I believe, you know, if I'm not mistaken, they asked Joe Biden, you know, if China, you know, was to invade Taiwan, would he go in there? He said absolutely, right? Because they're supposed to be some of the next big tech giants.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, a lot of that lithium ion, okay, is stored up there in Taiwan, and they can't allow China to have it, man. Otherwise, that will basically make them the next #1 superpower, man. Okay, so to completely obtain that dominance, you know, without having to actually literally go to war, right? You know, they do these little surpluses, these treaties, right? They slap sanctions on them. Okay, they use the U.S. dollar as they weaponize it. They use it for as a weapon, man. Okay, and I believe it was Putin that said that that's the worst thing you could have did was weaponize your own money.
Yeah.
You know, so now people are backing out, getting away from the dollar, right? You know, and it's causing what? A crash in the economy.
Yeah, it's weakening the nations, man. It's really America, you know. Cause now, man, they can see the riches that holds them, that power. You know, it's just no more. You know, you can't hold weight no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because the dollar was basically the petrodollar, right? Which was backed by the Saudis. Okay, and they basically was forcing people to convert to using the dollar underneath all purchases, transactions, okay? Right, they had to get their money, what they call that, when you go from one currency to another, but I forget the name of it, it's like a technical name or whatever, but they get, you know, you take your yuan or your ruble, and you got to use the American dollar in order to make a purchase within oil.
Yeah.
But now it's not like that anymore. It's a free for all.
Yeah.
You know.
Which, hey, man, all that's gonna boil down to, hey, man, for Esau to present that the MOTB.
Absolutely.
Which, hey, that's to tell you right there, man. That's fastly approaching, man. You know, that's that impact that Esau trying to put upon America, man. You know.
Right. You know, this man's coming down with his new world order, man.
Yeah.
Right. And at the helm of it is the MOTB. They make you comfortable with, you know, tap to pay. You know what I'm saying? Use your phone, tap to pay. Use your card, tap to pay.
Yeah.
Pay with your palm. Okay. And then people are going to take it, man. Right? When they offer you UBI and free health care and all the rest of that kind of stuff, man, you know, the 2/3 are going to run to take it, man.
Yeah.
Because the times are going to be bad. Not knowing that this man is setting you up for failure. Right? But it all goes back to what, man? The returning of the Lord. Right? And in a title of today's lesson, which is, you know, Brace for Impact. right? The Lord's gonna come with the angels, okay, and He's gonna come with plenty of power, man. But before all of that, we're gonna have trials and tribulations and calamities and the fall of society.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why, that's why he like tighter, bro. We got brace for the impact, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cause all for us, man, to be delivered and make it to the kingdom, man. And we got, man, we gotta go through, man, the upcoming destruction that Lord's about to bring upon America, man.
Right. You did verse 7? Or no?
No, not yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Matthew 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
Right, and that's what we're seeing now, man. We're seeing the shipping yards, right? They're being, the different ports are being empty, man. You know, truckers not having work, which is going to go back into what? A disruption in a supply chain, man.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to be able to go to the store and just walk in and buy your daily goods. Okay? It's not going to be that easy, and even if you are, the price is going to be so high through the tariffs that you're not going to be able to afford it. Okay? You give me Zephaniah 1 and 10.
1 and 10. Yeah,
so this is what the people, of Babylon the Great, aka America, got looking forward to, man. A lot of tribulation, man. A lot of woes, right? A lot of pain, a lot of hurt and suffering. Okay?
I got that. There's Zephaniah 1 verse 10. It shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills.
Right, so this is just marketplaces, right? Transactions. This is where you go to go buy your food. This is where you go to go buy your daily consumables, okay? Different items that you would need. That's what we call daily essentials, okay? All right? But when it says that a cry is heard from those places, meaning they ain't gonna have anything there.
Yeah.
Right? The people gonna go there who put their trust in Egypt, right, which is aka Babylon the Great, or America, right? And it's gonna fail, man. Right? The scriptures tell you that suddenly the sown places shall be found empty.
Yeah.
Right? They're gonna be unsown.
Yeah. There's another point too that tells you that, hey, man, that Zephaniah 1 verse 10 talk about, hey, man, financial, marketing. It's that, hey, we going to basically we look up like certain charts, going to say like currency charts, stuff like that. It look like what? Like see like arrows, like
right.
How much they make, how much they not making, stuff like that. It look like a hill.
Yeah, they look like a hill.
Yeah.
Right. That's why it says there's a crashing of the hills, man. Yeah. Which means your stock markets, right? They're gonna plummet, man.
Yeah, plummet.
They're gonna tank overnight. People gonna lose everything, man. And when the people lose everything, they literally lose everything.
That's right.
Okay? They lose their sanity, right? Because they made the riches of this world, right, their God. Okay? They have nothing else to fall back on. That's why when Esau Edom loses his money, what's the first thing he do? He go and basically go commit murder-suicide.
Yeah. Right?
He go home, he'll take out the family, right? And then he'll take himself out.
Yeah.
Okay? Because he don't see himself living within a world without those things, okay? All right?
I got a precept for this.
Go ahead.
It's 1 Thessalonians 5, I'm going to start verse 1. But of the times and the season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so coming as a thief in the night.
Right.
You want to say something? Go ahead.
All right, so yeah, man. The day of the Lord's coming, man, like a thief, man. A thief doesn't make himself aware of when he's coming. Okay, you have no idea really when he's coming. All right, but the point is to prepare yourself. Okay, to prepare yourself to potentially go through those things, man. Now we know that different things of that nature, your house being broken into, your wives being ravished, your kids being destroyed, and all that. That's for the 2/3, man.
Yeah.
Okay. For the people that don't want to repent, come back to Yahweh Shema Shai. Talking about you Israelites. Okay. And the other nations, they're just going to get their just desserts.
Yeah. Well, verse 3.
Mhm.
For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Right. So think about, a woman experiencing, being robbed, or beat, right? But she's pregnant, as if she's about to give birth.
Yeah.
People howling, screaming, vexation, right? Esau's coming through with the sword, laying everything down. Okay. That's what the Lord's like in the time frame unto it, and it's written like that because it's basically an ancient way of saying all hell's gonna break loose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically saying they not gonna escape.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, hey, as we said previously, man, while that name of the Lord, say the Lord ain't gonna be dealing with them that day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely, man. Right.
Cause a lot. Cause I want to say this too. Cause it said, by everything that's going on, majority of people, man, they not seeing it or they not understanding. Hey, man, we in the last days, man. So that's why they think, oh, the peace and safety, they think it's all good.
Yeah. Get that out of Sirach 5, I think it is, that talks about basically tearing to the Lord.
Oh yeah,
being destroyed in him. Right, man. So the people are completely unaware. Right, they're in gross darkness. They're basically ignorant to the fact that what the people call in the world they're asleep. Right, the things that are going on around them are actual reality type situations or scenarios people should be planning for, right? But they're not taking note of it, man. They're not being circumspect.
Yeah, they think everything's gonna get better. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, okay, we've been through this before. We took this route. This has happened. We've always come out on top. We'll find a way to make things better. And it's not going to happen. We're telling you it's not going to happen. Now, the exact time frame on when everything goes down, those things, we don't know. Only the Heavenly Father knows. But it will go down. That's the point.
And really, we can tell, man, it's shortly, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because as Scripture say, man, we measured down the time diligently. So basically, man, by seeing, hey, man, prophecy being revealed, man, by seeing it come to pass, hey, man, let us know, hey, man, we closer and closer, hey, man, to, hey, our Lord's coming, man. So, hey, man, the impact is about to come, you know? Which, hey, the impact is going to come, hey, to, hey, it's going to come unaware to, hey, people, man. Majority of people, man.
Right.
I got that, Sirach.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a Sirach 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
Right, exactly, man. It says, don't put off from day to day, man. We was talking about at camp when we got back over to the main camp, talking about basically Jake want to wait to the last minute, right, the 12th hour to come and worship the Lord, man. Well, that's not how it works, man. Yeah, we know there are going to be different believers coming in, in truth and sincerity. But for those that knew about it and basically didn't act towards it, put their works toward, gaining the kingdom of heaven, right? They're going to be basically shunned out, man. The Lord's going to leave them here and melt their ass, because in like manner, that's what they deserve, right? Because he really, ultimately he told you what to do, okay? They say that the book is like, what do they say? It's they call it basic instructions before leaving the earth.
Yeah, that's what
right. But basically, it's just pretty much that, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what you need to go by, right? And the prophets on the highways and hedges for no reasons, man. They're telling you what the truth is, right? But Jake is sitting up here playing around. The time for fun and games and playing around is over, man. Okay, the Lord is at work. Look at what He's doing to the other nations, completely destroying the other nations, man. Right. And there's no remedy for them. Right. So in like manner, when he's just basically saving the best for last. Okay, which is America, Babylon the Great.
That's right.
I
got a precept.
Go ahead.
It's Ephesians 5 verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Redeeming the time, because the days are evil.
Right, so it says, man, be circumspect, man. Okay, which means that basically you're watching your surroundings all the way 360, right? Going into a circle, right? Spec going into looking, man. Being aware, spectating,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because basically shoot, the brothers from LA, you know, they were gonna tell you, man, that brother he got stabbed, man.
Yeah.
You know, he got harmed by somebody, man, a Jake, man. You know, was
Mm-hmm.
basically, man, the LA bro, they was just telling, hey, man, they was give us an example of how important it is, hey, to be more circumspect, especially in these times we're in, man.
Right.
You know.
Exactly, man. You know, because hey, man, you know, at the end of the day, we all still coming up on persecution,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is what we signed up for.
Yeah.
Right. We know that, you know, there will be some brothers that will have to drink of the cup fully, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just like who was that? James, in Matthew the 20th chapter, right? When Zebedee came and she was like, you know, here's my two sons, you know, basically, you know, let them come and you know, be with you, man. Sit one on one side and another on another side.
Right.
Okay, he said, man, that's not my. The Lord said, man, that's not my. What did he say? He said that's not my. Basically, within my power to give him that position.
Yeah.
Right. You know, but ultimately, you know, those men walk with the Lord. Okay. Right. You know, and they had to drink of that cup. You know, so in like manner, in today's time, you know, we use that brother's example of harm and hurt happening to him, and you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, we wish that brother a speedy recovery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we understand that can happen to any one of us.
Yeah.
You know, at any time. You know, so you know, we got to be aware. You don't want it to happen based on you just not being aware of your surroundings or what's going on. You know, if it's gonna happen, it's the Lord's will to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cause hey, man, hey, I just let us know today, man. Hey, today's it's about to be, hey, man, buck wild out here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, hey, man, we gotta prepare ourselves, hey, man, to be in certain dangers. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be sad part of this place, man.
Time.
You know, cause hey, man, like I say, man, it's gonna be a time like never before, man. You know, hey, man, it's gonna be far more worse than, hey, man, we're reading the book or have we ever seen. You
Right.
know. So hey, man, as everything wrapping up, man, hey, the demons wrapping up too, man.
Right.
You know.
Right. And as they're, you know, coming to their so-called full strength, right?
Yeah.
Running around planet Earth, right? You know, causing all those different woes and calamities. On the opposite side of the spectrum, the Lord is also going to have his righteous men, spirits be filled, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, we talk about it all the time, you know, brothers, you know, basically being hid within the Lord, okay?
That's right.
Right? The Lord's going to take, you know, his elect and, you know, through his power, make them survive, you know, crazy scenarios, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I got 2nd Esdras 7:41.
Okay.
Yeah, man. You know, so that's what we got, you know, looking forward to us, man. You know, salvation, right? Brothers want to get on that highway, man.
Mm-hmm.
We want the great escape. We want to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to go to work. I do not want to go to work and work, you know, 16 hours, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, so this is hell, man.
Okay.
You know, for us. Yeah, this motherfucker flying over.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you know, say, hey, man, as much as, hey, man, we ready for salvation, you know, the kingdom, and we got, hey, man, we got to first, hey, man, get through, hey, man, destruction of America, man. So that's why, hey, man,
Yeah.
yes.
Satan sending a fucking
Yeah, I'm telling
bee.
you. Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's
Yeah,
so
man.
crazy.
You know, that's why, hey, man, we embracing the impact, man, because, you know, hey, man, even though, hey, man, it's going to, hey, you know, America destruction, man, it's going to lead up to, hey, man, our kingdom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
God.
So for, hey, man, things get better, hey, man, things got to get worse out here.
Absolutely.
All right, this is 2nd Esdras 7, verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, now seeing corruption is grown up and wickedness increase, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore shall it not be so now also? Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory do abide. Therefore they have prayed for the weak.
Right, you know, and hey, look, like the scriptures say, man, you know, you can read that again, that second verse.
It says, this present life is not the end where much glory do abide.
Right, so, you know, we know, you know, we're going to get spiritual bodies. We know we're going to get changed, okay? I mean, you know, Lord willing, you know, we be those men through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Al Shai. But as the days draw nigh and get closer and closer, our faith grows.
Yeah.
Okay, we grow into the men basically that we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay, we started off as babes, as so-called babies in the truth,
Right.
and the Lord increases us in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right, He gives us the oil, right, and He increases us in faith and start saying that, hey, you know, we might actually be those men. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
might actually be those ancient men back on planet Earth, doing the works of righteousness, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's why, hey, man, we ready for the Lord to destroy this place, man.
Mhm.
You know, that's why we ready for the impact. Because, hey, this life that we live right now, man, it's not life. You
Right.
know? It's not the end. It's not the end all be all for us, man. They ain't meant to be slaves, man. Work for Esau for the rest of our lives, man. It's not the case, man. You know?
Right. And I just basically kind of did a lesson where we went from supermen to slaves, man.
Yeah.
You know, imagine, Superman being on your block, right? Nobody's gonna mess with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
He's gonna be the top guy. Everybody's gonna fear him.
Yeah.
But also imagine if one day Superman woke up and he ain't had no power.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the people started knowing that he ain't had no power. What you think
Yeah.
they're gonna do to him?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If they don't kill him, they're gonna make him subject, man. They're gonna
Yeah.
make him a slave,
That's right.
right? To make him a public example, okay,
Yeah.
or what not to do. But
Yeah.
also, think about if he basically received a revelation, understanding that one day he would get his power back.
Mm-hmm.
What he gonna do to survive? He gonna be meek. He
Yeah.
gonna be humble.
Humble.
He just gonna have to do whatever it is. He gonna get messed over. And it remind me of did you ever see you saw Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones? Nah.
Well,
Nah,
again,
shit.
Game of Thrones, they had a lady named Cersei in there, man.
Mm-hmm.
And she was basically a terror, okay? She was, laying stuff down, okay? She had a son that was, basically a child for a king, And then, but it came time for her rulership, and they had this sect of people that were so-called, religious martyrs,
Mm-hmm.
okay? They basically took over the city that they was in,
Yeah.
right? I believe there was the Targaryens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They took it over, and they put her through all kinds of shame, man. They made her walk through the city naked,
Damn.
right? They made her basically confess sins and all the rest of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you really knew her character, you would know that, she's, you know what I'm saying? She's not really, that type of person.
Yeah.
But she put on a show. That's the point I'm getting at,
Yeah.
right? She didn't have the power no more. She put on the show, made it seem like she was going along with everything that she did.
Yeah.
And when the first chance she got, she blew them all to fucking,
Mhm.
she blew them all up, man. The
Yeah.
whole religious sect,
Mm-hmm.
So that would be likened up to what Superman would do when he regains his power,
Yeah.
right? He gonna, be terrible to the people.
That's right.
He was terrible before, he gonna be worse,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's verse 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, but beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past.
Right, man. So that's what we're entering into, coming up on close, right? Coming up closely to, right? We're full steam ahead into the day of doom, man.
That's right.
Right? Well, this corrupted world is going to be destroyed, and we're going to enter into a life of incorruption, man.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to receive the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. We're not going to have to teach our brothers no more.
That's
Right? We're going to be immortal.
That's right.
Okay?
And the earth could be, man, this could be righteous, man. Righteousness.
Right.
On earth again.
Righteousness is going to be spread all throughout the four corners of the earth, man. And it's really a beautiful thing. So, the Lord's at his wits, man. He said, man, it's either get down or lay down.
That's right.
Those are your options. Okay? There's no in between. You can't climb up another way into the kingdom of heaven. You can't mix doctrines and come up and say that I'm with y'all. No. This is what it is, man. Okay?
Just like that, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
much
that's
it.
it.
You got something?
Nah, that's
Okay.
it, bro.
All right, well, that's pretty much all we got. Through the spirit and power of Yah Bashim Al Shah, we pray that, Lord willing, this was edifying first and foremost to the hopeful elect, right? And to those that cleave to the body. But prior to getting out of here, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Chakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Abba Babal,
Abba Babal,
Kwam Yashala,
Kwam Yasharala,
Shalom.
Shalom.